Hi, everybody. I am Julie, and you are watching Julie Acetta's Journey Questions and Answers Part 1. I posed a question on my social media platforms asking you to ask me any question about my journey. So, what I did was I compiled all of your questions and I will be answering them on these video parts. First of all, in case you don't know, or in case you're new, I started this journey in 2019. I was a teacher in 2019 in the state of Florida, USA, for 13 years. I accepted an overseas teaching job in Indonesia for August of 2019. So in May 2019, I accepted the job. 3 months later, August 2019, totally left the States. I did not know anyone in Indonesia. I have never been to Indonesia. Shamefully enough, I didn't even know where Indonesia was located on the globe. I had to find it after I accepted the job. Don't speak the language, nothing. Just packed my stuff up from America, packed my entire house up, got all of my affairs done for the year, and left. I decided I needed a 12-month vacation from life. I was teaching in Indonesia for about 7 months, and in March of 2020 came over to Thailand to visit some family, and the entire world shut down. I couldn't even go back to Indonesia. All of my stuff was still in Indonesia. I was stuck here. And that 12-month vacation from life has turned into 4 years. I am in my 4th year of being overseas, and I have not been back to the US yet. So, yes, I am still on a sabbatical. However, I am employed, I will tell you that. So that is the history of Julie Acetta's journey. It was only supposed to be a 12-month journey, but I'm in my 4th year. So I will answer some of your questions now. But before I do so, and while I'm thinking about it, let me give you some history of my employment in Thailand. In March of 2020, I decided to let my contract in Indonesia just ride out. So I was in Thailand, unemployed, not receiving a paycheck for 5 months. Luckily, I was staying with my family in Thailand who took care of me, who fed me, who housed me. So when my contract in Indonesia just ended, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Again, I don't really have plan Bs. So I decided, I don't want to go back to the States yet. So let me just stay in Thailand. And I got a teaching job in Thailand at a wonderful, wonderful international school. I absolutely fell in love with this international school that I worked at. And after that year was over, I wasn't sure what I was going to do again for 2 reasons. One reason was I needed to make more money. I figured if I was going to stay in Thailand and stay overseas in Asia, I need to make more money. I'm not receiving any retirement out here. I'm not receiving my 401k out here. So I need to start saving a substantial amount of money towards retirement. The second reason I left my international school was they ended up closing down. They didn't have the enrollment that they needed because of what the world was going through, and because of online learning, they didn't have the enrollment. So I accepted my current job now, which I will tell you about and answer because that was one of your questions. So I've been with my current job. I'm in my 2nd year with my current job. So I think that's all of the back history of how my journey began and how my journey is continuing and where I am. Okay, so let's start answering your questions. I did do a questions and answer Julia Accetta's journey after my first year of being overseas. So you can go back and take a look. It was a trilogy of questions and answers. So Jarnay from Florida asked many good questions, and she actually asked many good questions. The first question and answers, Julia Accetta's journey back in 2020. So she asks, are you still nannying or teaching? First one, how are you able to afford traveling? Second one, what was your favorite place so far? Third question, and her final question, what do you miss the most? First, let me address her first question. Are you still nannying and teaching? I have never been a nanny. I have always been a teacher. As a matter of fact, I am in my 17th year of teaching. So I have never been a nanny, Jarnay. The students, I'm just gonna say the word students as his name. Students already has nannies, and I am not one of them, so I am his educator. Yes, I am still teaching. I'm teaching students. Like I said earlier, I am in my second year of educating him. Student receives a full curriculum. He has, I am his homeroom teacher, as we would say overseas, which means I teach him reading, writing, math, science, social studies. I teach him all of that. I have a full curriculum that I do with him. It's a British curriculum, but I do throw in a little bit of American in there as well because I'm American, and he will be an international student. So students is learning everything that student would learn in a school. I am his full-time traveling private homeschool teacher. So that kind of goes into the second part of, or Jarnay's second question. How are you able to afford traveling? I am so fortunate because I happen to love traveling, and the family that I work with, they also happen to love traveling, and I get to travel with them. So I travel a lot with them. I travel a lot with work. So my traveling, Jarnay, consists of traveling with the family, my personal vacation time, and my personal weekend getaways. So that's how I'm able to travel so much, is because when the family travels, I travel with them, and to continue his studies and to continue his education. His school literally goes with him wherever he goes. What was my favorite place so far? I'm a Floridian. I've lived in Florida for over 30 years, I think, and I love the beaches. So anywhere there's a beach would have to be my favorite place so far. And that's Thailand. I always go to the beaches in Thailand. My favorite places is definitely anywhere where there's a beach. I recently got scuba certified, so I'm going to be, I'm in the water with the fish. That's my favorite place. But in 13 months, I also lived in London for 5 months with work, and I fell in love with London. I really, really love London. I love the diversity of London. I love the different faces, the different languages, the different foods, the different cultures, the history. I love all of that about London too, but there's no beaches. And I haven't been there yet when the weather was gloomy and dreary for days and days and raining on end. So I don't think that I would love that part of London. So, but what I do know of London and, being there for the 5 months that I was there, I do love London as well. What do you miss the most? Her final question. I get asked that question even in Asia. What do I miss the most about the States? And I have to tell you, I miss the F word the most. And everybody's like, oh, what? The F word? And I'm like, yeah, freedom. I miss the freedom the most. When I was living in Indonesia, I lived in a very, very conservative town, and wine was not sold in my town, liquor was not sold in my town, tampons, I couldn't find tampons in my town. I had to be covered, and it was very modest living in my town, and Bali was my escape because there was more freedom in Bali. And even in Bangkok, I have a lot of more freedom in Bangkok because it's a huge metropolitan city with a lot of foreigners and a lot of expats, whether they're tourists or living here. But it's still not the freedom that Americans are used to in the US. So I do miss the F word. But I used to say I miss the beaches, but it seems like I'm at the beaches a lot in Thailand. But if I'm not by the water or near the water for like 4 weeks, then I start to get an itch for the water. And I miss grits. I miss the food. There's just some things that, even if I go to a restaurant, unless it's run by an American, it's not the same. So if I'm in a hotel and I get the American breakfast, it comes with the salad. Americans don't eat salad for breakfast. And they call hot dogs sausages. So for breakfast, I'm actually getting served and eating a hot dog for breakfast. And Americans don't eat hot dogs for breakfast, and they're not breakfast sausages. Grits, I'm a Southerner from America. I don't really consider Florida the South, but it is. But grits, I love grits. Anytime I have my American friend meet me in London, she's always bringing me grits. Kraft macaroni and cheese in the blue and yellow box. She brings me that all the time too. I love that. So that is the food. The food and the water. I do miss my friends and my family as well. Those are, gimmies. But I would say that that's what I missed so far. Johnny, thank you so much for asking your questions. And I hope that I address them and answer them. So more to come. Thank you. Love to all. Before I conclude this first part of Julia Accetta's Journey questions and answers, I wanted to provide an extension to Jarne's question about how am I able to travel so much. I was raised a military dependent, so that sense of travel and exploration has always been a part of my life and a part of me. So I do love to travel. When I had gone back into my calendar in 2021, and I learned that I was never in Bangkok, my home base, for more than 3 weeks at the entire year. I was always out, whether it be, like I said, traveling with my work or personal vacations or personal weekend getaways. Every 3 weeks I was doing something. So in 2022, I was like, oh my goodness gracious, I feel like I've done so much in such a short amount of time. And so I went back into my calendar for 2022 and I calculated that I was in 7 countries in 2022 and 21 cities in 2022. Now, some of those cities were repeat visits, like Bangkok, London, Pattaya, and Phuket. Bangkok, Thailand, Pattaya, Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, and Phnom Penh, Thailand, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So those cities were repeated. I did include Bangkok, which is my home base, and I did in one of the cities that I visited, and I did also include Thailand in one of the cities, one of the countries that I visited. So yeah, 7 different countries in 2022 and 21 cities in 2022. Oh my goodness, that does not include all of the traveling that I did in Indonesia when I lived there for 7 months. I had actually gone to Bali when I lived in Indonesia. I visited Bali 5 times in 7 months. It was only an hour flight from where I was living, and it was literally my escape and my rescue and what I needed. And then other cities in Indonesia, it doesn't include either. And then it doesn't include all of the cities in Thailand that I did in 2021. So in 2022, 21 cities and 7 different countries. I don't know what 2023 will bring. Like I said, I am still employed with this family who happens to love to travel, and I happen to love to travel too. I am looking very, very forward. Right now, it is the first week of January 2023. I don't know what the next place will be, where we're going. I don't know what we'll be doing, but I am ready. I do apologize. This particular video, the first one, is longer than I like my videos to be. I only like them to be around 10 minutes. I know that some of them are really, really long, like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but this one was longer because I had that whole introduction of my history and how and why I left the States and stuff like that. So the next questions and answers will be longer, will be shorter. Please feel free to shoot me or send me your questions for more parts of Julia Accetta's journey, questions and answers. We will be making, I will be making more parts for you to enjoy. And I just got out of the shower. And I will see you in Julia Accetta's journey, questions and answers, part 2. Love to all. Hello, this is Julie, and you are watching. Hello, everybody. Hello, this is Julie. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie, and you're watching Julia Accetta's Journey, questions and answers, part 1. I pose on my social media platforms a question, asking you to ask me any questions about my journey, and I will answer them on videos. So what I did was I compiled all of your questions, and I will be answering them in these question and answer parts. A little bit of back history in case you're new, and in case you don't know, I am American. I lived in Florida, USA, and I taught for 13 years. In May of 2019, I decided to leave the country. I accepted a teaching position in Indonesia. I just burped. Hi everyone, I'm Julie and you are watching Julie Acetta's Journey, questions and answers. I asked you guys to ask me any question about my journey. So what I did was I compiled all of your questions and I will be answering them on questions and answers series. What the hell? Before I do so, and while I'm thinking about it, let me tell you about my employment in Thailand, since I told you about my employment in Indonesia. So in March of 2019, in March of 2020, when the entire world was shut down. This is not working out